Okay, hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss this question type, that is find the given information. We have been given these sentences, this information, and we have to find out this information from this passage. Now the heading of the passage says nature or nurture. So this passage is about an experiment which was conducted on teachers and students, and the behavior was recorded, right? So, question number 14 says a biological explanation of the teacher subject's behavior. So, in one of the paragraphs in the passage, they are talking about teacher subject's behavior, and we have to find out the biological explanation of teacher subject's behavior. See, the explanation must be biological, right? Now, what is the meaning of the word subject here? Most of the times, you might have heard about this subject as it relates to physics, chemistry, and maths, for example. However, when we talk about an experiment, so whoever is involved in that experiment, any person or more than one person, those people are known as subjects. So the teacher or teachers here in this passage are subjects. So we have to find out biological explanation of the teacher subject's behavior. All right. So if we come to the second page of this passage, up until here about this paragraph, they have talked about the behavior of the teachers, right, in this experiment. And as we move further towards the next paragraph, that is F. So in the F paragraph, in the beginning, they have said that. So from here starts the explanation. They are saying there must be some sort of built-in animal aggression. Okay, this is the first part. Animal aggression instinct. See, instinct is something that is within us. It is natural. It is part of our behavior when we try to do something naturally, right? So that is instinct. So that was activated by the experiment. And again, and that the Milgram's teacher subjects. So here we have the hint from the question. Teacher subjects were, what were they doing? He's trying to explain here. They were just following a genetic need to discharge this pent up primal, sorry, urge onto the pupil. Pupil here means students, right? So, see, whenever we talk about biology, we had to find out biological explanation, right? So, whenever we talk about biology, physics, or chemistry, there are certain terms which are linked to these subjects or topics. So, whenever we talk about genetics or genes, these are related to biology. So, here is the explanation. He's saying teacher subjects were, they were just following, there is a natural need, a genetic need which is within their genes biologically to discharge or let out, right? Let out this pent up. So pent up is accumulated within, that is accumulated primal urge onto the pupil. So this is kind of a desire to let out this energy, primal energy, onto whom? Onto the pupil. So the answer is F, right? Now moving on to the next question, that is question number 15. Question number 15 says the explanation. So we have to find out certain explanation given by Milgram to whom? Explanation Milgram gave the teacher, again the same word here, teacher subjects for the experiment, right? So he explained to them why the experiment is being carried out. All right. So we come to page number 1 of this passage. We'll start from here. Stanley Milgram, this is the person of Yale University. He tested 40 subjects from all walks of life, okay, for their willingness to obey the instructions given by a leader in a situation, this and that, in which the subjects, in which the subjects might feel a personal distaste taste. See, what is the meaning of this taste? That they might not like whatever action they are going to perform. Okay, fine. So, in this experiment, he wanted to check the willingness of the subjects that will they be performing certain actions. So, specifically, he told each volunteer, that is teacher subject. So, this is our hint from the question, teacher subject, that the experiment. So here he is trying to explain about the experiment to the teacher subjects. Okay, that the experiment was in the noble cause of education. So he's explaining to the teachers, to the teacher subjects in the experiment, that experiment was in the noble cause of education, and again was designed to test whether or not, to test whether or not punishing pupils for their mistakes would have a positive effect. So here he is trying to explain to the teacher subjects why are they made to perform or take part in this experiment, right? So the answer to this question is A. 16th question now. They are asking about the identity of the pupils. The identity of the pupils. The identity of whom? The pupils, right? So pupils are the students in this experiment. Identity means who they are in reality, the pupils. Like maybe your identity is you have a particular name, you belong to a particular place, to a state, a village, or a city, right? Or you do a certain kind of job, that is your identity, right? So what was the identity of the pupils here in this experiment? If we move back to the same page, coming to paragraph B, okay, they are talking about that same experiment, what was involved in that. Here they have started talking about the pupils. All right. So if you pay attention to this sentence right here, the supposed pupil or the student, who was that student, right? So here is the answer. Was in reality, this was the identity, was in reality an actor hired by the same person, that is Milgram, to simulate receiving the shocks by emitting a spectrum of groans, this and that. That is further explanation. So, who was the pupil in reality? It was not a student, it was actually he was actually an actor, right? So, the answer is B paragraph, and the identity was actor. Coming to the next question now, the expected statistical outcome. See, these two words are very important here, expected and statistical. Expected and statistical. Whenever we talk about expectation, so what does this mean? So they were performing an experiment, they had a certain expectation in their minds that okay, this might be the result of the experiment, right? Before the actual experiment, they were thinking about, they were expecting something to happen. And see, statistical, whenever this word appears in reading, it mostly, like all of the times, relates to numbers, right? Stats means numbers. So you can easily scan this kind of answer from the reading. You should find out for the numbers which have been mentioned in the reading. So the expected statistical outcome, let's see, every experiment has an outcome. Okay. Now, if you come to the D paragraph, we have got our first hint. See, the language of a paragraph says a lot about the hints that we are trying to find out in the paragraphs, right? So, prior means before even carrying out the experiment. So, means maybe we are going towards expectations, right? Milgram explained his idea to a group of these many psychiatrists, this and that, and asked them to again another hint, prediction, expectation, ordinary population to administer the highest shock. Okay, the consensus, again this is data which was collected from them. See the language right here, the grammatical language would refuse to was virtually. So this was the data before the experiment. This was the expectation that they thought that the teacher subjects would refuse to obey. They won't obey the experimenter. Again, would not go beyond 150 volts. Okay. Again, another hint regarding prediction or expectation, that is anticipation or anticipated. This means one and the same thing, right? Now, we were talking about stats here, and here we have 4%. 4%. So, this was the expectation. Only 4% would go up to 300 volts. Furthermore, they thought that only a lunatic fringe, so a very rare person. Lunatic, this word alone means lunatic means some kind of mad person, but lunatic fringe means, for example, right here they have explained actually the same word, 1 in 1000, right? So one from many, that is a lunatic fringe. One from the majority would give the highest shock of 450 volts. So right here in this green ones, we are talking about stats, that is the numbers. So this was the prediction, consensus, anticipation, or the expected outcome of the experiment. All right. So the answer to this one is D. All right. So here we have this word. See, such kind of words, they stand out from the passage or a question. Socio-biological study. This is a topic that they're talking about, right? Socio-biological study. And we have to find out general aim of this study. Okay. What was the main focus of socio-biological study? So we can generally quickly scan this word and then find out aim of this study. Okay. Now moving to page number 2, as you will scan, you will find out that this word has been mentioned somewhere here. Okay. So they are talking about this, in a sense, is the problem of modern sociobiology. We have a word here, sociobiology, and they're talking about some problem. See, whenever we talk about a problem and we relate that problem to a subject like problem of biology, physics, so that problem needs to be solved. They're trying to say that is the aim, right? So the aim or problem of modern sociobiology, what is that? They have specifically mentioned here. It is, this is the aim, to discover the degree or extent or the level to which hardwired genetic programming dictates. So they're talking about this genetic programming and to what extent this programming dictates. Now, right here, dictate means control. However, when we talk about dictating or dictates, it means kind of control or power, showing power over someone or control over someone. So, to discover the degree to which hardwired genetic programming dictates or controls what? The interaction of animals and humans with their environment, right? So, whatever kind of interaction animals or us humans have with the environment, how much is that linked to our genetic programming? Right. So, how much the degree to which hardware genetic programming dictates or controls our interaction or animals' interaction with the environment? That is what? That is the aim or problem that needs to be solved by sociobiology, modern sociobiology, right? So, that is your answer. That is I for this question. Next question says the way Milgram persuaded the teacher subjects to continue. Milgram persuaded the teacher subjects to continue. So Milgram was trying to explain them and he wanted them to continue, right? He wanted them to continue with the experiment. He was persuading them, right? So let's see how he persuaded or made them continue with the experiment. So, right here, as the experiment continued or unfolded, the pupil would deliberately give the wrong answer to the questions, right? And they were getting electrical punishments from the teachers. So I'm trying to link this information with the answer that is going to come next. And the teacher subjects, they turn to Milgram with the questioning looks. So if you see right here, they turned to Milgram with the questioning looks. They were asking from Milgram that why are we being made administer electrical shocks to the students, that we do not like it, right? So they were having these doubts. They were reluctant to do this, right? And they were complaining about the same. So they did not want to continue the experiment. They were complaining about it, right? So, see, now we are linking this reluctance of the teacher subjects with the answers. Now, Milgram is going to explain to them, okay, that why they should continue with it. So, he calmly explained to the teacher subjects that here is the answer. Calmly explained that the teacher subject was to ignore the pupils' cries for mercy and carry on with the experiment. Again, he proceeded further. It was important for the sake of the experiment that the procedure be followed through to the end. So he said that it should be done for the sake of the experiment and they should continue doing the same and should not stop in between, right? So, right here, he's trying to persuade the teacher subjects. He's making them agree to continue with the experiment. And again, he said, you have no other choice. You must go on, right? So, the answer is C. So I hope that all the questions are clear to all of you. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can contact me at this email address. See, there is one more thing that I need to tell you regarding this question type. Mostly the students say that it is difficult to find the locations because it takes a lot of time to find the information, right? You need to scan from whole passage. So there is one thing that you can try and do it for yourself. Always leave these question types till the end, because when you will be doing other question types you will get an idea what kind of information is written where in the passage. So it would be easier for you to scan the information from these question types. So you can try this method once, right, and let me know.